Welcome back to Good Morning, LaLa. It's so important to take a look at our culture and see what we are manifesting as a whole. And Andrea Evans is in the house. She has a very important documentary on Rocking the Couch, which is all about Me Too and Time's Up. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Really good, thank you. So tell us a little bit about the documentary.
Well, we say the Me Too movement and all these other things. We were kind of inspired to do it after the whole Harvey Weinstein and the Bill Cosby things were breaking. And we started just filming our friends with some of their stories in Hollywood and what had happened to them. And then we uncovered this case from the 1990s where 12 actresses took a talent agent to court for sexually assaulting them and actually won. And our question was, why did we not hear about this? Why did this go on and nobody knew? I mean, because if we had known about it, if the press had covered it, if we knew the whole story, maybe Harvey Weinstein's would not have happened. Maybe all this might not have occurred.
The concept of the casting couch has existed for decades before the whole Me
Which we
Too
cover in
movement.
this too. We cover a lot of the history of how that happened and how it started.
Let's take a look at the trailer for the film.
An avalanche of sexual assault allegations.
When I first arrived to LA, I didn't know what to do at all. I had no friends. I didn't know where to go. So I just kind of took it upon myself to learn things. Of course, I went on Craigslist.
For saying an independent film. They needed a woman in my age range, so I submitted my headshot and resume. I got a call to come in, and when I came to the casting, it was in an apartment building.
I wanted to know if I could meet with him later on that evening, around 7:30, which was basically after closing. And he opened the door and turned off the light, around and locked the door, started pushing me toward the bedroom. And I said, "What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?" He raped me.
And sexual assault includes sexual battery, rape, forcible sexual penetration, sodomy, oral sex, all of that stuff. Those are all crimes.
Wow. I'm very curious, what's your personal reason behind producing this film? Why did you choose now to tell these stories?
Well, I think as a woman who's made her entire living in Hollywood, I've been doing this since I was 10 years old. I've never had another job. It's a business I dearly love, and that has been very good to me. But there is a whole other side of it that I think just now, because of these instances, because society has changed, we are actually talking about it. And one of the points we make in the movie is, when the whole Harvey Weinstein thing again came out, all these stars are saying, "Oh, I had no idea." That's BS. We all knew. Everybody knew. We all saw it. But society didn't really allow us to talk about it. But now it does.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've been around some celebrities where they're so, their entire community around them will never call them out on anything because they have so much power in their name, and it's quite sick, And I think that for you to take on this documentary, I think it takes some courage because it's scary, even though like none of us want to see anything happen to anyone, still to step up and have a voice and do what you just did is scary because some people will shun it, some people won't. And so what's that been like for you to come out with, really stepping and being that voice for him?
I personally have not, to my knowledge, suffered any, repercussions of this, unless something has happened I don't know about. But, and I think a lot of that is due to social media and things like this, where things are more upfront. Now, if we had done this movie 5 years ago, I probably wouldn't be here talking about it because nobody would want to hear about it. Everybody would be afraid to have me on there or whatever. But that's not the case now. And I think we have to take advantage of this time to talk about it, to maybe do what we can to help.
But you seemingly navigated this very well. I mean, from Bold and the Beautiful to One Life to Live, a career in Hollywood since you were 10 years old is no easy feat. How did you survive it and navigate it with integrity and not having to deal with any of this?
Well, I do have some stories, of course, as everybody does, but I think, and we bring this up in the documentary, one of the people we have in it is Carrie Mitchum, who is the granddaughter of Robert Mitchum. And she brings up the very important point that if you had some kind of power or a powerful man behind you, you really weren't attacked as much. And I think because I started so young, I was already a TV star by the time I was like a teenager. So people didn't really mess with me. It's the people that came to town that didn't have anybody, that had nobody to protect them. And they were ambitious and wanted to get ahead and wanted to do what they could. And those people would find themselves like in our trailer where they're saying, I went to Craigslist to find out.
Right.
I was horrified when I thought this, when I heard that.
And a
Like,
good
what?
documentary shows and kind of has some controversy in that it questions,
Right.
you know, the legitimacy of all, you know, perspectives, because it's some level perspective. There's some facts and then there's some perspectives. And how did you guys bring that in?
Well, we just tried to include everything we could, and one person's fact, another person's perspective. Again, as we said, it's very much, Hollywood is very much a situation of the haves and have-nots in a way. And another part that unfortunately ended up on the cutting room floor, because we could only include so much, was we had an actor on there talking about how the entertainment industry is much like a walled city, you know, and if you're in it, you're inside the wall. But if you're not, you're having to climb. You know, you're having to climb the outside and try to find that person on the inside to like give you that last boost in. And these are the people that get hurt. And we really wanted to hear their perspective, as you mentioned, because a lot of your A-listers, a lot of people that were working were giving their perspective. But I truly think the people that were most hurt in this situation are the people that come to town, that look at Craigslist to try to get ahead. Because if you want to be a lawyer, you know how to do it. There's steps you take. When you want to be in the entertainment industry,
Good luck.
I can't tell you.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't tell them. We can't tell them how to get ahead.
Yeah, I'm so interested in what a powerful, powerful, moving documentary. And you know, I wonder, as you're hearing all these stories and these various perspectives, you know, what were the takeaways for you? Was there anything that you learned that you were surprised to learn, or that you just feel really, really empowered to share with people?
The biggest lesson for me, and I thought, other than the fact that it was heart-wrenching to hear these stories, and a lot of these people are my friends to hear their stories. Two of the stories, they're talking, and we chose as an artistic choice not to mention names. You know, we just wanted the stories themselves. And so these actresses are going on, they're telling these stories about these men that they have encountered that assaulted them. And in two of the instances, I'm listening to them, and I made sure I was there for every time we interviewed a woman, because I wanted a woman to be present, because I was the only woman on the production staff. And they're going on, they're telling the story, and I'm going, that sounds familiar. Wait a minute, I know that guy.
Wow.
And in two of the instances, I knew the guy.
Wow.
But I knew them in an entirely different light. And it was very eye-opening to me that these men were one thing to me and this monster to them. You know, and that was very eye-opening.
So what do you think people can do, whether it be women or men, because it happens to both sexes?
Men too, yes.
What would you recommend for people after seeing all of it? How can somebody try and stay safe out there?
You know, it's hard because, as we said, you know, we can't tell them how to achieve, you know, how to manifest what they want. To bring in your earlier conversation, I can't tell them what to do. I can only tell them things not to do. Don't meet people for drinks. Don't have appointments after work that way. If you have to meet with somebody, meet in a safe environment. Do everything in your power to not put yourself in that situation. It's much as the same as young women or men need to know just every day walking around. But when your ambition is there, when you're trying to get ahead, don't let that put you in danger. Let you make bad choices.
Thank you very much. Please tell everyone where they can find the film and follow you.
You can find it on Amazon Prime, and you can follow me at Andrea Evans Prod on Twitter. And thank you for having me. I hope you watch the show.
Thanks for coming
Thank
on.
you.
Thank you.
Stay tuned. We're back with more on Good Morning La La Land.